Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the February 27th, 2020 work session of the Penfield Planning Board. We're working on our ratings today, so let's make it entertaining for all the people out there in TV land.
You got it. Let's
all
do
right,
it.
Lori, please call the roll.
Hetzke.
Here.
Knauer.
Here.
Tidings.
Here.
Burton.
Here.
Nursinger.
Here.
Sangster.
Here.
Connor.
Here.
Gray. Here.
Present.
Okay, we have minutes from the last meeting, all 10 pages. Nice job. Hopefully everybody's had an opportunity to review them.
Lori got to see him about 10 times.
And,
Move to approve.
okay, got a second?
I'll second.
Hetzke.
Aye.
Burton.
Aye.
No
Knauer.
action on
Aye.
it.
Tidings.
All right. Zach, you want to go through the agenda?
I'd love to. We
Okay.
are taking no action on your tabled item for this evening. We're going to jump right into the action items. We have 2 this evening. And we have a guest for the first one. Paul, if you'd like to join us.
Yeah, thanks guys.
The floor is yours to go through
Let us know
the
what you want to do.
proposed facade upgrades at BayTowne Plaza.
Thanks, Zach.
No
Good to
problem.
see everybody.
Welcome back.
I must say, this is just a fabulous rear image of the leasehold
Existing?
space in question.
Of the existing?
This is compelling stuff, folks.
Oh, go to the next one.
No. I prefer this image. This is good stuff.
So-
Let us know where you'd like to start up here too.
Yeah, so I think everyone's aware we moved Planet Fitness approximately 2 years ago from the location they were in building, which is building C, and we've moved them to the old Walmart building that vacated an approximate 19,000 square foot space. We've re-tenanted the front portion of that faces the main parking field with Pet Supplies Plus. They took approximately half of that space, and that left the back half to be re-tenanted, and there was a couple options, either extending the street of shop spaces deeper so that they went front to back, or working on finding a tenant who would take that space as it is, but I have to get them access into it. So ultimately, we have a tenant who is interested in that space, and we have a deal in principle with them, but I need to create access into it. So what I've prepared for you and what we have, maybe the color rendering is probably the best one. Is installing a tower element, which is very similar to the existing tower elements that flank the street of shops where Gina Marie Salon and Witchcraft Brews are. So that, in this rendering, you see that element is the same height and scale proportion of what's on the street of shops. It's approximately 35 feet tall, and we also are creating a couple other sign fields. I know that I would have to go to the zoning board for special sign permits for anything greater than a single business identification sign. Given that this has a very good presence towards Empire Boulevard, we wanted to do more than just create a single entry and try and dress up that facade. As we also submitted in your packet a couple of existing conditions photos, what's comparative, what's there today. It's a dumpster enclosure, kind of back of house, and our goal is to clean that up because BayTowne really doesn't have, at least in this location, there's not a back side of the plaza there. We have parking and circulation all around, and as I'm sure many of you are aware who frequent the plaza, patrons travel all these routes.
These are the ones Sarah took, Doug.
So
These pictures, Doug, sorry, these pictures that Doug was just showing on the screen were ones that staff took, in case anybody was wondering as he was sliding through them. The ones in your handout are what Paul's referring to in terms of the existing photos. Sorry.
no, that's fine.
Relocate all those electric meters?
They would stay right where they are. Yeah, what we would wind up doing is taking down the one dumpster enclosure wall that's in the foreground there, leaving the one now that's on the left-hand side. That would serve as essentially a blast wall for the distance from the transformer to an operable opening. We would remove, obviously, the bollards and the gate enclosure, and then trim that dumpster enclosure wall back as shown in the plans, and then create that tower entry and that element. There's about 18 inches of grade change from the finished floor down to the parking lot, as you can see in this perspective view from the photo. So we bring the site up a little bit by creating a ramp and some steps so we can have an accessible entrance. We're cutting in two very generous openings in the corner as shown there. The one on the west wall will be non-operable, just be storefront fixed glass. And the one on the north side is actually the slider that would be the entrance into this new tenant space. Parking would be along both the north side of the space, is essentially where Hand and Stone parks, and the parking field that we have created there, and then also along the west side of the new tenant space, which would be nose-in parking up against the building. So I included some details just showing how we create the ramp and the steps and the accessibility into the space. We dress that up with some landscaping on the area that's not hardscape, consistent with plantings like we've done elsewhere in the plaza, probably very similar to what we have out at the Bellas or other areas, more annuals and low grasses rather than anything tall that competes with signs. So we're excited to be able to tenant that. We think it's going to energize that north side along with Verizon. We have the other half of the Verizon building that we want to tenant. This kind of energizes and doesn't make that all look like it's facing the back side of the plaza. So we hope you agree that it's a nice architectural upgrade. A lot of what you're seeing here are exact same materials elsewhere in the plaza. The brick is the same thin brick. The cultured stone at the bottom is that limestone. We would paint, that's a split face block on the west side. We would paint the block where it looks obvious that we're not doing any type of new built out, and then we create those vertical articulations with light gauge framing and ephes like we've done elsewhere.
Are those really vertical articulations? That's a new architecture.
I tell you what.
It was like he was struggling for the right words.
Sometimes I make this.
In other terms,
But very well said, very well said, it was very impressive.
this thing and that thing are what we're talking
You know,
about.
that thing that sticks out and up above?
Those two,
Go on, fine.
those two sign fields. But that's light gauge framing and ephes, and then the piers are actually a differential paint. And then we've shown some branding and imagery in there, but ultimately that would be part of a separate application to the zoning board.
So,
And the place is called New Tenant. That's an interesting name.
Yeah,
Cutting
incorporation.
we
Yeah.
do have a tenant. I just can't name them at this time just based on some sensitivities, but we're hopeful that in the next month or so we're going to be able to identify who that is. It wouldn't require any conditional permits or any other special approvals.
Okay?
So the signage, the tenant signage that you're proposing here, you know, it's always difficult, especially on an ephes surface where you get some environmental dust and dirt and shadow lines from, you know, the sun and stuff. You know, should that tenant move out at some point, and then you got to kind of conceal that. Have you guys considered using kind of a marquee in the background so that, you know, you can change that out instead of?
You know, the standard we've gone to is the individual hand mount letters. rather than any kind of raceway or any type of, marquee that could be changed out. That's something we could consider. We
It
find,
doesn't really matter to me. I ask because we see more and more and more of this, not just in our community, but in other communities, because it's always a challenge when you have to try to cover that up,
sure.
with a new tenant in the future.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Typically, your alternative is to skim coat the entire sign field so you don't see the remnants of what was there, or paint it. And we've done both, throughout the plaza, but we try to make sure that we're not
And these will be backlit letters?
internally illuminated. Which is also pretty much a standard that we've had in the plaza.
Doug, can you
Not
just bring
every,
up an aerial view
Not
of the
every
plaza?
business wants their signage illuminated.
Sure.
Zoom
Go
out.
out, zoom out a little bit. What do we do?
Now we're back at tops. And your Empire's that way. Hang on, he's gonna spin you around.
I went north on top.
North on top. The way you had it before.
That's,
And- Yes, that's what you want, AJ. So this is the area we're talking about. Here's the Verizon building,
Yep.
Empire Boulevard, Taco Bell, Speedway.
okay.
This is where that corner element would be, the tower element.
We've done a lot
Right.
to take all the overhead that was there between those parcels fronting on Empire and that backed up to what was the BayTowne and the developer parcel. So all we put all that overhead electric underground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a lot of work, but we cleaned it up, and we think this is just continuing to enhance that.
Things going well?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the Starbucks under construction. They'll be opening in July of this year. Just opened Pet Supplies Plus. We have this tenant that hopefully we'll be able to share with you in the next 30 to 60 days who it is.
I have a couple questions for you, Paul.
Sure.
While we're here, you feel that you have the adequate parking you need for this tenant with this area here, street of shops,
Yeah.
and up north there?
Yep. Yeah, we do.
In terms of pedestrian accessibility from, say, parking in this area, do you plan any signage, like a yield to pedestrian for someone who could be coming a little too quickly through this area? Obviously, we have a stop bar here.
Yep.
I don't know, I know the original site plans, because this is still getting like developed as these lots get built out. Do you have any plans for protecting this corner in terms of pedestrian safety as they're coming to this new landing area you're creating?
Yeah, well, we are creating a curb, full reveal curb that will wrap that whole corner, and that's what creates that entry element. We would put some traffic calming measures, some signs like we've had elsewhere at crosswalks.
Okay.
I don't mind striping a crosswalk. It's kind of difficult
It's
because,
a weird angle
It's
all
going
over.
into a parking spot.
well, to the north, they're going to park, mostly along the north end where the sidewalk is, where your cursor is. They're going to park along the west side.
Mhm.
They're going to park in that field to the north, right in there. And this area does have stop control when you come off the Verizon parcel.
Mhm.
The ultimate pedestrian connection that you were referring to from the Verizon building at that parcel heads just a little bit further north, and then it would go along what is the future building P to
Mhm.
make its connection over to the sidewalks
Over here.
over there. And then all of that really ties together in the overall plan.
Yeah.
Until I build building P, it's tough to put that sidewalk in because
Oh, yeah, understandable.
I'd wind up,
Mm-hmm.
So can you
Just
go
ripping
back
it
to
back
the view
out.
we had? I
So
think, yeah, our concern was kind of this corner,
yep,
as someone could be traveling through this way. We were just thinking one of those, like how you use the yield to pedestrian signs in here. It's tough to have a stop situation here, I think. I don't
No,
know.
but you
So-
could put a stop bar on that bottom drive.
Yep, we could.
Yeah,
So
Just
go to
anything,
the,
anything to get them to,
something for caution.
Yep.
so in your packet, I think it's,
This one?
yeah, I think it's A 5.1.
There you are.
So that is a full reveal curve that's gonna wrap all the way around. So we could put a stop bar off to that side, right where your cursor is, so that we avoid any, and it's the right thing to do there, to have a stop bar. There's minimal traffic that comes around there, but again, we would stop.
Yeah.
with your new mystery tenant, they're gonna generate a lot of traffic.
There will be more,
Yeah.
there will be more, but it's not the dominant move.
And the biggest concern is there isn't really a clear, an easy.
Drag racing supply store.
There's not a clear and easiest path to get that, like a crosswalk, like you said, over there.
Yeah, to put a crosswalk to the north is what I think you're talking
Yeah,
about.
this is a tough situation.
It doesn't really terminate anywhere,
Right.
but we could put one in and then put the yield to pedestrians like we have elsewhere in the plaza.
Yeah, I think the stop bar will certainly help here to slow this traffic coming in. At least recognize the fact that there could be someone crossing here
Sure.
in a car. My last question was, can you go back to the rendering, Doug? If you don't get your signage here, do you have plans for what could be there instead architecturally? Would it just be the painted treatment?
It would be the painted treatment.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody have any issues?
I'm just wondering if the illustrations adjacent to the
Depict.
articulating areas is indicative of the
What's gonna be there?
proposed tenant.
You don't think it's a drag racing supply
I-
shop?
You know, it could
It's-
be. Just wondering out loud, that's all.
Yeah. Huh.
It's
Yeah.
inspiration. Inspiration.
That's right, lifestyle imagery.
There you go. Culture.
Sampling
Who
for
knows?
planning board members.
That's right. That's where your new meeting space is. I gave it away. See, you got it out of me.
All right. Anybody have any issues? Doesn't
I
sound
think
like
it's,
there are any.
I think it's a very well planned out adaptive reuse of
I
a
would
spot
agree.
that at one time might have been tough to fill.
Yeah, I think it's continuous improvement, so it's good.
And I'm glad to hear that the businesses are getting good traffic.
Yeah, we're still, you know, still got some work to do, but every little bit helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, somebody want to move it?
I'll make the motion. Second it.
Give it to Tidings, he's had a hard day.
All right.
You ready to second?
You want to second
Get
it?
that,
I'll say.
For you like people.
Tidings and
Get
Burton.
that done.
Hetzke,
Aye.
Burton,
Aye.
Matter,
Aye.
Tidings.
Aye.
All right, Paul.
Thanks, guys.
Happy New Year.
Thank you
Yeah,
all.
same to you.
Got your
See
stuff
everybody.
back? You want to?
We gave those to you guys. We'll take care of them.
Good to see everyone. Have a great night.
You too.
Take
You
care.
too.
I'll follow up with a letter to document everything for you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you. All right, we have another action item this evening. Apologize, I don't know your name.
Jason D'Agostino
Jason,
for 15 Agnew.
yeah, would you like to join us?
Sure.
I have your sample materials here. Just didn't know if you want to take a couple minutes just to go over with the board what you're proposing for the building with the surfaces, and I know we've been talking about the light fixtures.
Right.
With the firm there, so.
pretty-
Yeah, take a couple minutes and here's the board.
Yeah. How you doing?
Welcome.
Thank you. Pretty straightforward. We're just looking to update the look of the building. Right now, it's vinyl siding. And what we'd like to do is put brick, as you can see on the elevation. It would be on the south side, then running along the west, the east side, and then hardy plank siding. And then along those columns, right now, they're just wood columns that go down to the sidewalk. We'd like to construct a base, a brick base. And that's essentially it. There's one
Did you build the building?
We didn't, we bought it 5 years ago.
Okay.
There's one wall pack on the south side of the building that we'll replace, and I believe there's 8 sconces, 8 wall sconces.
Okay.
So right now, we've got two different ideas that we're looking at. We're going back and forth on the two
For
different
the
pictures.
sconces?
Yeah. I believe those are the wall packs, actually. And they are dark sky compliant.
What else? Yeah, 'cause we
So
got
those are two options for the wall pack on the south side.
Right.
Were you planning anything for under the overhang? With
There isn't
everything?
any lighting underneath underneath the overhang, it's essentially the wall sconces
Okay.
at each of the entrances.
And those are remaining, is what you're saying?
Those are gonna remain.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, they're gonna remain but get replaced with these new fixtures.
Oh, okay.
Right.
With these or with,
No,
I only got these. I wasn't sure if...
I brought along copies of the other two.
That's, yeah, I didn't get the most recent ones.
Gotcha.
cylinder, wall mount cylinder, okay?
I believe that is the wall sconce right there. And that's
On the right?
on the right, and the wall pack is on the left.
Okay.
And then the other option would be, this is a wall sconce.
Okay.
And this is the wall pack.
Okay.
Do you have a preference at this time, just to give the board an idea?
No, this is really something that came up recently on the lighting. So I'd like to look at the different options and price it out. We haven't even priced it out.
Okay.
So like I said, there's eight of the sconces and then one wall pack.
Would you want to take a look at those while they're here?
I can see them from here, I'm pretty familiar with that.
So what other improvements are you planning? When you're staging for the new cladding work, you're going to be replacing any of the landscaping, hardscaping?
No, when we bought the building 5 years ago, there were, I want to say 2 or 3 large trees. We took those out. We tried to clean up the
So that's a
landscaping.
violation of town law, you know.
And
According to some
cleaned up the landscaping. And we've just tried to, over the years,
So you're just gonna try to scaffold around them and protect
all
whatever,
around the landscaping, yeah, exactly.
and just try to maintain it?
Maintain exactly
Okay.
what's there.
No plans to try to improve an exterior accessible route into the building?
No, not at this time.
And we did confirm that there are no site plan improvements on this property. This is in one of those properties that's in the 100-year floodplain of Panorama. So no disturbances to the site in terms of impervious surfaces.
I think it's a nice improvement. Anybody have any issues?
Anybody wants to replace vinyl siding in this town, they got my vote.
Yeah.
Good run for public office.
There you go.
AJ, or any of the board members, are there any concerns with the options of lightings that they're considering?
I would
If they go
defer
either way?
to my lighting consultant here.
I wanted to give it to 4 people before I gave it to one.
Yeah. Anybody have any issues with it?
It sounds like they're all
I mean, they all.
dark sky
Yeah.
compliant.
Okay.
Good.
I just wanted to make sure you had the flexibility to choose what you needed to, basically. 'cause-
It's more just
Thank you.
styling.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Anybody have any other, are you done with your presentation? Or
Yeah, that's it.
all right, somebody want to move
Make
it?
the motion to approve.
Okay.
Second?
Hetzke,
Aye.
Burton,
Aye.
Knopf,
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Okay.
All right,
So
thank you.
when are you thinking about starting?
As soon as the weather breaks, probably in the next month or so.
Great.
Yeah.
So Jason, I'll follow up with an email documenting the board's approvals of everything that's been presented. That way you have that to work from with the colors and building material samples. And then obviously follow up with the building department, as I've discussed with your architects, about submitting a building permit so they can review it.
Perfect.
Okay?
All right. Thanks a lot.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Have
thank
a
you.
good night. All right.
We do have one new business item, and did we get an electronic? Oh.
I just realized that.
Going old school. Can you go to 3824 Atlantic Avenue, Doug?
Sorry about that.
That's okay. You can improvise. It's been a while since we used clips or anything. So, 3824 and 3810 Atlantic Avenue, they've come to here to give us a plat map to merge the two properties together. There is no existing structure on this property, it's just being farmed with a pond on it. There is a house on 3824. This line would be eliminated between the two properties and would all be contiguous as represented on this map.
Where is this on Atlantic?
Way, way east.
Almost across from Apollonia.
Oh, it's across from Simon's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And here's town line over here, so we're a couple properties away.
Okay.
Staff has no concerns, the board has no concerns, we'll just take a vote authorizing the chairman to sign the map.
Somebody,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
all right, moved and seconded.
Hetzke,
Aye.
Conower,
Aye.
Burton,
Aye.
Tyus.
Aye.
Okay,
Excellent.
Anything
That's all we have this evening.
terrific. Well, there being no further business, we will adjourn. Thanks, everybody, for coming.